Finding and recognizing cyber threats from China. FBI is warning about possible targets from hackers, and now there's a new government report that finds hackers backed by China have had access to critical U.S. infrastructure for up to 5 years. Bob Kolasky joins us. Bob's the former director of the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity National Risk Management Center. All right, so we saw this. Director Ray comes out and says they've been in there for 5 years. They're pretty much ready to strike. What should a normal person watching know about this, or what should they take away from that information?
The thing about this information is that it demonstrates that China has a good amount of time that they put into being prepared to attack American critical infrastructure. And that means that if something was going to happen between China and the U.S., there's the potential risk that something could happen here in the U.S. to our electric grid, our water system, our transportation networks. So the normal person has to take cybersecurity seriously, take their own part in cybersecurity seriously, but also be prepared should we see escalation but intentions between the U.S. and China that could have impacts here, even if we're not seeing kinetic warfare or kinetic attacks. There could be cyber attacks here in the United States.
On a very simple level, we obviously hope our government is as ready for this as possible. And, the director talked about ramping up that process. But, should people be doing anything themselves? I mean, it sounds silly, but, changing passwords or that kind of thing. I mean, I don't know if people pay enough attention to this issue. What should they be doing, if anything?
Yeah, among the things that was called out in the report is the need for multi-factor authentication, which means relying on more than just your password, having two points of access, get a text message to confirm that it's you logging on. So usually as somebody who's using the system, you can sign up for multi-factor authentication, which then means your password is not the only thing that identifies you. And I think that's an important element for individuals to take.
Is the government on top of it?
Yeah, I think the government is on top of it, but the government needs to be on top of it, working in collaboration with industry and thinking about supply chains and the like. So it's not just a matter of the government calling things out. Companies, particularly in the electric sector, in the water sector, banks, transportation companies need to also stay on top of it, and there needs to be a good degree of information sharing. I was happy with what the senior officials came out and said, because it gave notice to industry that it's time to really be prepared in case something happens.
What worries you the most about the vulnerabilities mentioned, the banks and some of the other infrastructure? I mean, there was a hospital, too. There's a children's hospital out in Chicago that was offline for a long time after a cyber attack. So I guess healthcare. What are you worried about the most?
Yeah, I think there was also a hearing last week that's worth noting around operational technology, which is the technology that allows water systems and transportation networks to operate. And you see in operational technology, these are older systems that only get updated every 20 years that don't have a lot of investment made against them. And so I think there needs to be commitment at the national level to strengthen the cybersecurity of operational technology, particularly around water facilities and hospitals and places that don't have a lot of money to invest in cybersecurity.
All right, Bob, very important story. Thank you for joining us with your insights on that, and hopefully people can do what they can to help themselves. Any moment now, President.